kind of leads on to another sort of point. The bits, obviously, that we didn't go into lots of detail about, how much pressure this whole process can put on you. This wasn't meant to be really negative about doing the process or to put people off.
To set expectations.
This is what this channel has always been about. Come back tomorrow for a bonus vlog. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is keeping well. We figured we'd do like this little chatty vlog bit here with us first and just kind of give you that summary update on everything that's been going on this week, but then have kind of like vlogged some stuff as well. So then we'll kind of move on to that as we go through. So where shall we start with this week's update?
We've done loads this week. Loads and loads and loads. So as you've already seen from last week's video, we've started doing the whole sorting thing. Despite the fact we haven't done much sorting during the week because obviously I've been working. So lots of meetings this week, a lot of business related meetings, certainly business related meetings for the US. So that's sort of very much picking up pace now. Obviously, I think we asked the question last week about CPAs and recommendations for them. So thank you very much for everybody that recommended some. I'm going to be reaching out to some of them over the next few weeks.
And if you didn't comment with any and you've got some, comment down below.
Feel free to share. So one of the other bits that we've been looking at this week is company setup. So how to set up your LLCs, S-corps, blah, 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 blah. So I think I'm pretty much on top of that for what we need. But again, if anyone's got any ideas or any tips to share, please do feel free to let us know. So what we're essentially looking at doing is setting up 2 LLCs. Those 2 LLCs will be owned by 50% by me and 50% by my UK, what will be my UK business partner. And then we're also potentially looking at setting up an S-corp separately, which will be our company that will be doing our stuff. So it will be the one that continues some of the stuff for here and some of the stuff over there.
Okay, there's Mark talking loads of business jargon.
Yeah. So anybody that understands, if you can share any potential tips, tricks, or anything we could potentially do with knowing, or do's and not do's, I guess is the.
Yeah, I know you were thinking about what kind of like accounting software you were going to use and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I've looked into. I think QuickBooks seems to be the most, I don't necessarily say the most common, but certainly the most widely used.
Yeah.
It seems to be almost like CPAs that are actually connected to QuickBooks and they get to be like platinum level providers. I'm not going to pretend to know what I'm talking about, it's just kind of what I found. Personally, I've got background in Xero, because I use Xero now, and Sage 50, because unfortunately I've had to use that for a lot of the stuff we do. So I think QuickBooks seems to be a good fit. I've had to play around with it on the demo version and it looks to be pretty self-explanatory.
What did you say it connects to?
TurboTax, which I think also helps with doing your sort of tax returns, but I actually think it helps with both personal and sort of corporate type stuff.
Yeah, so again, if anybody has any experience in this area or any knowledge, please feel free to drop any more hints, tips, do's and don'ts into the comments below.
Just to make it clear, I have no intention of filing our own tax returns, certainly not for the first few years.
No.
It will all be done through a CPA because we haven't got a Scooby-Doo.
No.
I know about it here, but I don't have a clue about it over there. So.
And we still don't do it here either. We use an accountant here.
We do, yeah. So I want to make sure that we continue to do that and it gets done properly.
Yeah.
So that's a couple of things we've looked at this week.
We sent the list over to the buyers of the house of the bits and bobs that we're prepared to kind of like sell furniture-wise and appliances-wise and things. We hadn't heard anything from them all week, but then you said you've had a message, haven't you now?
This morning.
To say that they are going to spend the weekend having a proper look through that list and they will come back to us on that. So we don't actually have any like updates on anything along those lines at the moment. I said, but one funny thing that kind of cropped up in a lot of the comments from last week, which I just thought I'd kind of cover in this vlog, was a lot of people were quite surprised that we were considering shipping our Christmas decorations. Yeah, a lot of the comments were quite surprised that we were considering taking them, and obviously we were tongue-in-cheek joking around the fact that they weren't going to be there for Christmas and stuff. And I know it might seem daft to some to be worrying about Christmas decorations, but we have collected Christmas decorations from every place that we've been on holiday since we've been together. Certain moments in life when we've had the children. And we also do have all of the Christmas decorations that the kids have made all the way through preschool, right the way through primary school. Sadly, Jacob doesn't do that anymore in high school. But they've obviously got a lot of sentimental value. So to us, those Christmas decorations in themselves are just irreplaceable. So that's the reason why there are ornaments that have got to come for that reason and that reason.
I must have missed the comments with people suggesting that we don't take any of the Christmas stuff.
Yeah, people were like, I'm just surprised that you're kind of bothered about the Christmas decorations. But
I'm not buying them again.
And obviously we've been watching vlogs since we submitted our visa application. We've watched vlogs every week through every season. So I know you can get good quality, really nice Christmas decorations at reasonable prices from loads of different places. Home Goods, Hobby Lobby. Yes, see them all.
You can, but we don't need to.
But
we've got them.
I know that. But it's just the sentimental value of some which are key.
Yes.
And as Mark did kind of mention before, we invested a considerable sum into artificial trees.
2 of them.
Garlands and wreaths from quite a high-end supplier.
Balsam Hill. We can say who it is. It's Balsam Hill.
Yeah.
Anybody on here who knows who Balsam Hill is, they're not cheap.
Courtesy of spending those, winter afternoons watching Hallmark Christmas videos.
Is that where it come from?
Yes.
It's whether they have Balsam Hill trees on their shows. But, okay. You're not watching Hallmark movies anymore. I'm going to delete the app or the program or block it or something to prevent.
So, yeah. And they will all still work out in America. So it makes sense to take these quite expensive items over. Now, obviously, there was some tongue-in-cheek joking around the fact about getting them there for Christmas. And if they're not there for Christmas, it's one Christmas, it's no great shakes.
We'll just do a Griswolds. We'll drive out into the middle of nowhere.
I told you, I don't want any squirrels. We said that in last week's video.
But that squirrels from the first tree.
The reason
the first tree
why.
didn't have squirrels from. And
no, just leave it. Just leave it. Oh. But that is the reason why, just to kind of clear that up, as to why there was quite a lot of sentiment to the wanting to take the Christmas decorations. Albeit we were kind of having a bit of coupley banter at the time as well. Which is, as you've seen, not uncommon in our household.
Nothing serious in this.
No.
But I really think we should do a Griswolds.
No. Right, moving on. So
is a wise way.
Thursday this week, Marky had his preparation call with the lawyers for our interview.
Did.
Which is something that we didn't have to pay extra for. I guess it's kind of included in their price that you pay to them.
Yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest, I don't know what I was expecting.
No.
So I don't think I was I expecting something? I don't know. I think I was perhaps expecting to be grilled, or maybe have you done this? Maybe it's just the fact that I've got confidence in
the application
and me, I suppose, because they've done. I've come across as reasonably organised.
And I suppose the documents and everything are all in place and all.
Yeah. So obviously the visa type that we've done. It's not like an E2 visa where it all gets done at the end at the embassy where all your approval comes through. Anybody who's done an EB1, and I think it's very similar for an EB2 as well, is you have like almost 3 stages to it. So you have the USCIS, the visa application first, which was the bit that we've done first, which is that first petition that goes in. Then you have your document processing, which is the bit that gets done at the NVC, which is where your DS260 forms for immigrant visas, the DS260s get populated, and at the point in which you do that, you have to file all of your documentation, as in like passports, ACROs, your police documents, birth certificates, all of those sorts of things. And they also then happen to be all of the things you have to take with you when you do your interview.
Yeah.
So we obviously already got that. We've got it all already. They know we've already got it.
Yeah, it's already been done. They've already seen it to some degree. The people at the embassy might not necessarily have looked through it yet, but in theory,
they've already got it.
They've got it all.
Yeah, and I think all we have to take is the originals with us.
Yes.
So obviously all they've had at the moment is copies of. So we have to take the originals with us, and then they've then got physically they can visually see that they're all stamped, credible original documents. So that normally forms part of the pre-interview meeting, whatever we called it, the pre-interview. That normally forms part of that, but obviously because she knows we've already got it, she was like, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
The one thing she did say was, in fact, there's 2 things. One, something that she knew about and told me about, and then there was something she wasn't aware of that we then filled her in on. What she told me was, there's a very, 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 very slim chance that we'll get rejected at the interview stage because of the type of visa that we've got. And there's a very, 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 very slim chance that they'll ask any questions on my actual visa application because it's already been done. That part of that, the adjudication of that part has already been done by USCIS, so it's unlikely. Yeah. Which he said they might. So they've sent me my entire visa pack electronically. It's about 200 pages, I think. Thankfully, it was just a PDF. Flipping enormous PDF. I think it was like a gigabyte. So it was a big old document. Yeah. But now I've got my entire EB1 application, the entire document that was shipped out. It's very, very good. The way it's constructed. The first 24 pages are just what they've put together, and it's on their letterheaded paper, how they describe my capabilities and why I should be deemed fit for the type of visa. Then all the references and everything to all the evidence and stuff. It's very, very good. It's absolutely brilliant. Comprehensive, that's a good word. Yes. So they've sent me a copy of that, and then I've then gone through it. Obviously, it's about me and about the things that I've worked on. Sam compiled most of it, to be honest, but it's all about what I've done. So I'm familiar with what's in there anyway. Yeah. But it was good to read. It's been interesting to go through and see what they actually submitted to USCIS. And for anybody who was interested, because I know this question came up a while back, somebody asked about how many of the criteria for the EB1A did I submit evidence for? Yeah. I couldn't remember for the life of me. It was 7. Yeah. So there's only 10 in total. And I believe 3 of them I didn't qualify for anyway. Yeah. So it was like performing arts, which doesn't count. The sports one. And then there was the Nobel Prize thing or whatever it was. So there was 3 that I just didn't qualify for, but I was able to provide evidence for the other 7. Yeah. I've no idea which of the 7 were the qualifying ones, or whether or not it was just a collaboration of all of it. I didn't have. Yeah, we don't get to see that feedback. And neither do the lawyers. The lawyers don't know either. Yeah. All they can base it on is the fact that that application was successful. Yeah. And that's kind of all they can say. So that was part of the conversation we had. So now we've got that. So I've got that now. You can kind of. So I've read through it once already. Yeah. I know what's in there anyway. But... Well, obviously it's all about you, so you know what it's about. But it's just about the way that I guess they. Yeah, just in case a question comes up specifically about something that's in that pack. Yeah. It's just useful to have that as a reference. But yeah, I'm pretty confident on all that. I know the answers to any questions. So we went through a bit of a conversation backwards and forwards, just us asking a couple of other things, sort of more pertinent to us, more personal things to us that we just needed to know answers to, which again, she just said, yeah, no issues, won't be any problems with that, just do what we've said we're going to do. And then the one thing then that I brought to her attention that she wasn't aware of. So this is something that's changed at the London Embassy this year. So it was changed in March. So up until March this year, when you went for your visa medicals, I believe this is only for immigrant visas. You did your visa medical and then you just went away, and then you didn't come back again then until you did your actual interview at the embassy.
Yeah, we did talk about this very briefly in one of the other vlogs.
Well, we talk about the fact that we're going out to do the documentation.
Yeah.
Okay. So we obviously we mentioned it before. We are now, once we've done the visa medicals, we are going to be we are going to transport ourselves to the embassy to do a document pre-qualification.
Yeah.
So all of the documents that the embassy are expecting to see on the day of our interview,
like the personal stuff, like the birth certificates, passports,
police
blah, blah, blah.
acros, blah, blah, blah. They now do a pre-check on that post-visa medicals. Now, it makes absolute sense when you think about it, because now it means that they've done the document pre-check. They can make sure I've got all the documents they're expecting to see pre-interview.
And if you haven't got something, you've got
2 weeks to go and find it.
Yes.
Now, you wouldn't have got to this stage if you didn't have all the documentation, because the DS260s wouldn't have been signed off.
Yeah.
So it's highly unlikely, but it could be that you've forgotten something. It might be that you've left something on the desk at home and not picked it up. Now, the last thing you want to be doing is doing that on interview day.
No.
Because we live 3.5 hours away, or 3 hours away from the London embassy, so we're never going to get back.
To get it.
So the idea being is that you then take all of your qualifying documentation, they check everything, they then put it in an envelope with a seal on it and tell you to bring it back with you on interview day, because they then know with confidence that you've got everything you need from a document perspective. Yeah. Now, I don't know for definite, but I hazard a guess it's because lots of their interviews have had issues because people's documentation hasn't been up to date, or documentation hasn't been fully there. So, rightly so, they want to stop wasting time, both their time and the people that are interviewing's time, just because of the sake of the fact that they've missed a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I know I've seen some stories where people have gone with everything they think they need, and then they, like, the nature of the type of visa they've gone for, they should have had a copy of the CV, and they didn't. So they ended up getting a slip that then meant they had to go away and send in the CV electronically, which delayed them by another month or however long it took to get that process. And it's just silly stuff that shouldn't happen. But if you don't know about it, this is like a pre-way for them to be able to notify you. So that's something that the lawyers weren't aware of. The embassy hasn't told us this. It's actually the visa medicals that have told us this. And we've ended up having a letter, a PDF, that was attached to the email from the visa medicals from the embassy.
Yeah, I think I did see it on the Visa Journey website where some people were talking about their experiences doing things. So I know a couple of people had mentioned it on there, but we hadn't seen anything formal.
No, we're aware of it because we've done a lot of research. So we knew it was happening. We just didn't know formally
what the process was. Yeah, but so now we do. That is, So we've got our little pack of information together. Lawyer obviously was happy to learn that little tidbit of information.
Yep, we've had all of any letters and stuff, etc. we were waiting for from the doctors.
Yes, and so this kind of leads on to another sort of point, and one that won't get fully resolved until we actually go and have the medicals. And it also kind of, I want to acknowledge here a couple of the other people that are not necessarily doing the same visa process as us, but are doing any form of visa process to try to move to America. And I'm following as many people as I can that are going through this journey, because we've got a shared kind of experience here. And
trauma is the word you're looking for.
And that is the point. I think the one thing by us documenting this journey right the way from the beginning, so not once we've got there and reflecting back on it with little clips that we may have taken a couple of minutes here, but actually literally doing it week by week by week by week, you have seen how long this process have took with us. You have seen the ups and the downs. The bits, obviously, that we didn't go into lots of detail about is just how stressful and how much pressure this whole process can put on you. Mark is a very hold it together kind of person.
Beautiful is the word you're looking for.
I am the worrier, the overthinker, the anxious person. And I found this whole process to be really quite stressful and a bit overwhelming at times. And I watched somebody else on their YouTube channel bare their soul about it the other day. And I'm with you. This is not a process for somebody that isn't fully invested in it and is prepared to take the rough with the smooth. Because there's so much of it that just you don't know how long it's going to take, and you are left sitting around waiting, and you don't know the expectations.
I'm going to add something to that, to say that it's a life-changing experience. Obviously, the end result is the life-changing bit. You're moving 4,500 miles away. You're moving to the place that you hope is going to fulfill all of the hopes and dreams that you've got.
Yeah.
And we're under no illusions that there's going to be challenges, and not everywhere's the grass isn't always greener. We're not completely stupid, but we understand that. We understand that it's a risk. We take educated risks because we're reasonably intelligent people, and we are also people that like to try. So we're very rarely sort of say no to things within reason.
Yeah.
So we like to try things, and I've always been brought up around people, certainly in the industry that I work in, all the time where people turn around and say, I wish I'd have tried that. I wish I'd have done what I did when you were younger. I wish I'd have done this.
Yeah, we didn't want to live with regret, ultimately.
No.
So this is a reason why we've decided to go with it.
But the thing I want to say is we're obviously very committed, and we're also, whilst Sam is the more anxious person, the one that stresses a lot more about things, and I'm the polar opposite, but I'm completely the other way, we're also very supportive of each other.
Yes.
And I think if you don't have that...
No.
It makes it very, very difficult. And I would almost advise you really consider going through this process if you don't have that. If you don't have the support around you, because it'll make it harder.
And
it'll make it very, very difficult. Especially, the visa type we're doing now, the E2 visa, for example.
That's very stressful.
It's stressful, but it happens a lot faster, or can happen a lot faster if you go for the right channels and if you've got the right business. But the stressful part about that is if you don't have the physical cash up front to go and buy your business, 9 times out of 10, and for most people, they're selling their homes or they're selling big assets to be able to fund whatever it is they're doing.
And they have to do that before they know whether they get the visa or not.
Because the money's in escrow. So the risk factor there is
massive.
Yeah, now at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen, you get your money back out of escrow, you go and buy another house. But it's still a big, can I use this terminology, ball ache to go through.
It's not even that. You've got to, and this is perhaps the bit where I talk about, and Mark
it's the swinging brick.
You've sold your home with all your memories. So even when you get your money back from the escrow, you're not getting your house back. You've then got to try and find somewhere to be your home. Yeah. So that's when we say it's a massive, massive risk that people do on the E2 that don't have the funds available to them without needing to sell.
Yeah. There's a speed side of the E2 thing where theoretically it is faster.
Yes.
Now, excuse me, if you go through any of the other visa types like what we're doing, EB1 is the faster of the EB visas because they're current, which means there's visas available. You can go through the process quite quickly, but it's obviously very costly. We've talked about it a number of times about the sort of cost, but being realistic, by the time you've stacked everything up with hotel stays and travel and all it's probably 25 grand in pounds. You're talking about 25 grand. For a family of 4, by the time you've done everything you need to do, all of the bits and pieces that, not just the lawyer's fees, not just the immigration stuff, not just the visa interview, the visa medicals, you've got to travel a family of 4 down to London at least once. So you've got to get there, whether you're driving or you've got to go by car. So there's a parking aspect. There's hotels you've got to stay in. You've got to feed, if you're staying there the night before, because our visa medicals are the first appointments. I don't think it opens till 8:40. So we're literally the first appointments in the morning. So we cannot drive down there in the morning. No. Because I wouldn't want to risk missing it. So you've got to stay down there in hotels. London's not cheap at any time of the year. You're looking at 300, 400, 500 quid a night to stay in a reasonable hotel. So by the time you've stacked up all of those numbers, I reckon being realistic at EB1A with premium processing and lawyers' fees and everything else, about 25 grand. Now, you can do that cheaper. We've opted to use a lawyer. We've opted to use a lawyer to help us populate all the green card stuff. That was just to make sure 100% everything was done like it should be. And obviously it's worked.
Well,
So it's
we
paid
still,
dividends.
technically, well, we got the visa element approved, but until we have that visa
still not
appointment, it's still not a yes. Even though the lawyer has, affirmed on Thursday that she feels like it's quite a rare situation for somebody to have their visa denied once you've got this far through this EB1 process. But there is still a chance, even a rare one, that they could say no. And so that money is gone. There's no getting it reimbursed because we didn't get it. It doesn't work that way. So we've chanced that money on this as well. There is so much to this whole process. It is very up and down and challenging, and kind of going back to that visa medical side and Mark saying that I've now got the GP letter, I made myself ill and put myself into a state of anxiousness because I was concerned that some of my kind of, what do they call them, chronic conditions, I suppose, the things that you live with day to day, and mine aren't anything compared to some of the things that people kind of live with day to day. Mine are very mild things, we're talking mild asthma here, underactive thyroid, all things controlled with medication. And I had a minor medical situation that I just needed to go to a doctor to see. But I was so paranoid about this visa medical and being the reason why we don't get to go, because oh my gosh, heaven forbid this be something that they won't let us in for, that I kind of worried myself sick, literally. When you look into what they want in the visa medical, things like mental health conditions can be a barrier to getting in. So that just made it all a little bit worse. And I am talking about just having mild anxiety, not severe, anything severe. But you have to have a letter from a doctor on any of your ongoing conditions confirming how they are managed, whether they're under control, and basically what the prognosis of those are. And I was so worried about needing to get that, and for no reason, so I believe. So I now have that letter and I can sort of like let it all calm down now. But as somebody that kind of suffers a bit with health anxiety, that visa medical was just so triggering. And I think that's the point to what you were saying about knowing in yourself the support that you've got around you and being able to manage some of these really stressful moments through this process, because it really tries you.
Yeah, and it's for no other reason. In fact, there's two reasons. One is there's no information.
No.
There's nothing. Zero. There is nothing anywhere that gives you any indication about what it is they're looking for, what it is they're expecting to see or not to see, what ailments that you could possibly have that would trigger and reason for them to turn around and saying, no, you can't go. There's nothing. So,
but then in the same vein,
but if they made that stuff, if they made people aware of the potential things that could cause them no, it would help the likes of us and people like you to turn around and go, I'm not going to bother. I suffer with that. That's not going away. It's a long-term thing. Yeah. It's never going to disappear. It's not. There's no point, because I know it's not going to happen. But you can't. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You can barely speak to anyone, let alone find this information online.
Yeah. And
like with most things, most people only ever write about the things they're not happy about or the things that go wrong. There's very rarely people put stuff online, and especially British people, because we're the worst for it. We're not very good at documenting stuff when it goes right or when the positives happen. So one of the reasons we've done these videos is for that, because we couldn't find it. We could not find anywhere where people have turned around and said, I went to the visa medical today and they questioned my mental health. I've got anxiety, but I've got tablets that I'm taking, so it's under control, and I've got a letter from the GP that says that I'm not a threat to, or I'm not a potential problem for somebody else, and they give me the thumbs up and everything was good. It doesn't exist.
No.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist anywhere. Nobody has done that or documented it. We don't even know that yet. That's what I'm anticipating is going to happen.
That's what we're hoping. We
don't know that. So because you don't have that information, there's an unknown, and then it's the bloody time that it takes.
Yeah.
Compounds that.
Yes.
Because you can have your own conversations in your own mind. We can have conversations about what we think is going to happen. We've even talked to other people that have done similar visa types. And I think that's part of it, to be honest. We don't actually know anyone that's done EB1A.
And I think that's been a part of the problem that we've had doing this. And the other reason why we've done these videos, when Mark says about the fact that there's no information out there, is because literally we couldn't find any information about any stage of this process. Now, there's elements that you can know about. And if you've been following us right from the beginning, you will know that how long things took from the beginning. So it's a pretty cut and dry, and there's a timeline to elements of it. There was bits that were added on that we weren't anticipating, but when we instructed the lawyers, there was a 60-day window for them to come back to us with any questions for things that they wanted. And then there was another 30 days for them to put the application together. And then it'd get submitted. And then there was, because we were paying for premium processing, it had to be processed and reviewed within a set number of time. So you have a timeline for elements of it. But then what happens once you get to that point where you get the approval of the visa bit, how long it takes to get document qualified? You know, I mean, we did find a bit of a tracker in the end, to some degree, didn't we?
We found like a schedule online, but it wasn't a schedule. It didn't give you a tracker. It was more of a, we're currently dealing with cases dated from this date as of this date.
Yeah.
So it was like a 2-week window. You knew it was going to be within 2 weeks by the time your stuff got picked up.
So we had to use various different points of information to get a rough idea of when we could expect to be document qualified. And then once you've been document qualified, you then have to get your interview scheduled by the embassy. And that is literally where it drops off the face of a cliff.
Yeah. Now, we're based in the UK, and the London Embassy is reasonably, generally very good at scheduling interviews and sorting things out.
It's got a massive backlog at the moment.
I don't know whether there's been some changes with the Trump administration coming in later last year, whether there's been some immigration changes, whether there's been some changes in the way they do things. I genuinely don't know. But up until February time, January, February, when we've been looking at other people that have done EB1 cases, and these aren't people that have documented it, this is just people on the Visa Journey website that we've mentioned a few times. They've just been putting comments or posts on various bits that have said, oh, I've got my visa letter that's just come through, my interview letter that's just come through, and it's for 6 weeks' time. So that was our point of reference. So as far as we were concerned, once you'd been document qualified, and the MVC then tells the embassy that you're ready to go, based on everything we'd read and seen, we were expecting within about 6 weeks to get an interview letter, and then about 6 weeks later, the interview would be. So I wouldn't necessarily based everything on, but we kind of anticipated our timelines on that basis. So we looked at, okay, 6 weeks from the middle of April, as it was when we were signed off, we were going to be looking at end of May, we should get the interview letter, and then we should be looking at end of June, early July for the interview. That was how we planned everything, because that's how everybody else's that we've been referring back to, that's how theirs has happened. January, February, even into March, that's how people's interviews were happening. Ours didn't. Nothing. Zero. Got absolutely zilcho from them up until the middle of June, which was when I spoke to the lawyers, because they'd mentioned to me before about the fact that I could potentially look to expedite it because of the nature of the type of work that I'm trying to do out there and how quickly we need to get moving on some of the projects we're working on.
And that literally, without kind of rehashing that, is the only reason why we've got the interview now when we've got it.
Yeah.
Because
there's other people on that Visa Journey website that have done the same thing again, and they're still waiting for interview letters.
Yeah, it's
still
just...
waiting at the same time.
Yeah. And that is the bit. It's the not knowing, and it's the not being able to get any information. It's not being able to get a time frame. It's not being able to be told. Because even the scheduler tool, when we first looked at the scheduler tool that they tell you to use as a guide, it was dealing with cases from March 25. And we were like going to be in what we thought the next month. And then what happened was the next month passed and then it went back to February 25. And we were like, oh God, it's gone backwards a month. Right, okay, now we're going to have to wait. What's going to happen? And now that scheduler tool has jumped back to February,
May 23.
May 23, it's jumped back to. So they're only now scheduling interviews for people that are document qualified from May 23.
So I from what I understand, again from what I've read on the Visa Journey website from other people that have been to interviews recently and they've actually asked the question, is it basically means that they're not scheduling interviews for any employment-based cases. They're only scheduling interviews for family visas or the other one.
Student visas as well.
So they're pretty much not doing any employment-based ones.
Now, whether that's because they've run out of that visa type quantity, they have a quota every year if they've filled that quantity, but we can't find any information anywhere that suggests they've filled the EB visa quantity.
Now, what I think it is the fact that they've already scheduled all the interviews for EB visas up until the end of September.
But then again, that's just what you think, because there's no information out there to say to you they will only schedule for the quota that they've got left.
There's nothing that tells you. There's no data.
And that is the part that I think is the bit that drives the stress and drives the anxiety, because you don't have a timeline to work to. So if you have got to sell something like a house or something to make this move, you don't know when to put your house up for sale.
No.
If you've got a job that's kind of like pending around anything, you've just got no timescales and you would just have to feel your way through this journey. Well, and we know this, that like we were devastated, and if you've been watching our channel when we lost those first buyers, thank goodness we lost them.
Well, we'd have had to have
probably pulled out.
Yeah, possibly, because I think I can't remember exactly when we sold it and whatever else.
Well, it was.
We probably would have been looking to try and complete at the end of June,
and we would have not been.
And we didn't even have an interview at that stage.
No, so we would have had to have pulled out, and that is the thing about this whole visa journey for everyone. Now the E2s, yes, they're faster, but I know their timeline stretched out. It was supposed to be 60 days. I'm now hearing it's 90 plus. This is not to be really negative about it, and if it's coming across that way, that's not what I mean. I think it's more about, if you are going on this journey, you need to be prepared for everything that comes with it. Making sure that you have, if you're doing this as a couple, as a family, you are supportive of one another through this whole process, and it could try a relationship.
Yeah, potentially.
And I think unless you are doing it and trying to explain it to people that aren't doing it is really hard. Even the loved ones around you that see you going through it.
But they don't know everything.
Day by day, but
they don't see that everything.
That you have to put into it, because you basically have to put yourself into this process, the whole thing.
Yeah,
and
certainly early on, there's a lot of work and a lot of time and effort that has to go into.
So you just emotionally, you have to throw yourself into it. You just do. You've got to be so committed to it, otherwise.
Unless you've got
ice
block.
Hence the reason why I'm the anxious, nervous wreck, obviously. But yeah, so it's as I said, this wasn't meant to be really negative about doing the process or to put people off.
To set expectations.
This is what this channel has always been about. For anybody that's wanting to do this, to know exactly what you can expect from the process.
Yeah, and obviously the reward will outweigh the woes that you've gone through.
Yes.
Because of the nature of what's going to happen and the nature of what you potentially got coming. So once it's all done and dusted, and I think I want to say it was Katie that said it not long ago on one of her vlogs. She says, whilst it felt like a whole lifetime waiting for it to all happen, like it's almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just gone. You know what I mean? You'd be like, and I know for a fact, we're only, what is it, 1st of September tomorrow? No, Monday.
Yeah, 1st of September, Monday.
1st of September. We're in September. All of it happens in September.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to fly past. absolutely fly past. Kids go back to school, so we're both going to be busy.
You've got stuff going on
I'm
with
in bloody London
work.
for most of it anyway.
Yeah.
They've got. It's going to fly past. This just next week is going to fly by. Then I'm away for a week. That's going to fly by because we're running around like a headless chicken. So, and then we've got medicals, and all of a sudden, then we've only got a very, very short period of time until the interview happens. So it's like everything's going to happen very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be like, crap, that's it. One way or another, it's going to be that's it. We're not going, or that's it. We're going. So, it's going to happen. It's going to have felt like it's come around very quickly, despite the fact that we started looking at this May last year.
Yeah.
We started conversations May last year. So, yeah, just be prepared for a bit of waiting around. And I think the biggest thing is the unknown. And hopefully these videos
will give you guys a little bit more insight. Yeah.
A bit of an insight into what the process looks like and what you have to go, what you have to do to make it all happen.
And if everything goes well for us over the course of next month, and then we're able to catch the flights that we've booked, this whole process will have taken us 12 months. From the point of instructing the lawyer to the point of getting off the plane the other side, it will have taken
13 months.
Yeah, 13 months.
Because it was the 1st of October.
Yes,
but
when we went into this, we believed we were dealing with a visa type that is current. So
it was 6 months.
We thought this was going to happen in a flash. And we're on a current visa type. So for those that are looking at the EB2NIW, which has got a 18-month...
No, 2 years.
2-year wait time before the visas become available, you've almost got the 18 months plus the sort of a good 8 months of processing time.
Potentially, yeah. Could take up to 3 years, I reckon.
Yeah.
For an EB2NIW.
So, yeah, it's just go into it knowing what you're dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah, just it's more so setting expectations. I think something I'm considering doing is I might put like a single page website together. And when we've actually done everything and we've gone through everything, I'm not going to go to town on it. I think I'm just going to put like a page together, just lists like the time frames that we've worked to and what happened in that time frame, just to have like a single point of reference for people. Because it's difficult because obviously
you've got to have watched all months and months and months of our vlogs.
So I actually think what I might do is say, October the 1st was when we submitted documentation to I might just document it all. I'll put it all in one place and then share it.
Because then at least people can use that as a reference going forward. Yeah. Anyway, I think we've waffled on for very long, and I'm also now thinking that what I might do is do a part 2 video with the actual vloggy bit of what we've done this week.
It's 46 minutes long.
Yes.
What else was there? Was there something else we were going to say?
Oh, happy times.
So now we've gone through that and we've made you all cry on the video. Let's get exciting. All right. So we may have mentioned a few times the sort of restaurants that we like to go.
Well, no. Let's just talk about the lack of the beer that we like from America available in this country.
I was getting to that bit.
Oh no, but I'm just kind of like speeding the process up because we're already on 46 minutes.
No. The people are here to listen. All right, the fans are here. They're here listening. All right, we've got some favourite foods, as you may have heard. Salt Shack on the lake. Salt Shack is one of our favourite places.
So, but Monday we went to Hickory's for my mum's birthday. And so I will, put a little clip of that in here where we enjoyed a very lovely time celebrating Nanny Angel's birthday. And they're very good in there when you have a birthday because they will always bring you out a little surprise and sing happy birthday. But more importantly
is the beers that they have. Now, we used to love Sam Adams.
We did.
No, I'll rephrase that. We still love Sam Adams.
Yes.
The Boston Lager, the basic one, not the Oktoberfest one or anything like that, just the standard Boston Lager.
You used to be able to get it in Morrison's.
You used to be able to get it from a few places here in bottles.
Not anymore.
You can't get it anymore. For whatever reason, you can't get it.
They've stopped exporting.
So when we're in the US, we like Yingling.
Yeah, that's just a no-go.
I like most beers, but you cannot get Yingling here for love nor money. And then I can't remember where we had it. I think it might have been at...
It was at Five Guys. We literally got a lager.
Oh, here, yeah, of course, did the Boston...
Yeah, you got the Boston...
Boston lager,
the Brooklyn Breweries.
That's the
Amber lager, which is the green label, which you can get from Five Guys. And you had one in there and we were like, ooh, this is quite nice, this is. But you, again, can't buy those like in a supermarket or anything. You can sometimes get them from like beer website specialists. eBay as well.
Get them off eBay, there's somebody sending them money there.
In like a bulk buy situation, but you can't just pop to the local supermarket and pick up a amber lager green label. You can get their yellow label and you can get some of their session brews in cans from supermarkets, but for some reason not the amber lager.
It makes you sound like a raving alcoholics here, but Sam don't drink.
I know, yeah. Occasionally I like an American beer every now and again. But now we get to the exciting part. One of the beers that's on the menu in Hickory's, besides the Green Label Brooklyn Lager,
which also happens to be one that we've had over there a couple of times. Yes.
Kona Big Wave. Which if you've been to... Wait for it. If you've been to Typhoon Lagoon...
They serve it on draft.
They serve it on draft. I think some of the other restaurants serve it on draft. Can you get that in like some of the Polynesian themed ones in Disney as well?
We're going to find out.
We are. Anyway, so you can get it everywhere. And then randomly, when we were in Hickory's and we noticed the Kona Big Wave on the menu, I was then like, that's one I've not tried to search for. And ladies and gents, you can get Kona Big Wave in a supermarket. Here it is. If you're after the taste of holiday
of America,
you can get those from your local Waitrose. Who knew? It is £2.50 a can, however. They don't do them in any large packs or anything. But if you fancy a treat on a weekend and you want to, drink the drinks you like when you're on holiday, Waitrose is your place.
Kona Big Wave.
And this is not promoted, this is not sponsored, this is just from people that like Kona Big Wave. Highlight for this week was that we found Kona Big Wave in the supermarket.
If all else fails, we'll just get drunk.
Yeah. So what I will do, as I said, is I will put a part 2 to this video out. And do you know what? I'm going to do it tomorrow on Sunday. I might as well just put it out. And then you can follow along with what we got up to. First things first, on Saturday, I went to meet a friend for coffee at Costa. And on my way back, I just kind of filmed a little bit of my walk back. And the reason being, we do have some people that watch our videos from America. And I thought it might be interesting for them to see the different types of houses that there are here in the UK. And I just filmed the variety of things around. Just a bit of a comparison, because I know people like that kind of whole UK versus USA. So we did that. And then, obviously then, we have the decluttering of the kids' bedrooms for you to enjoy.
Still traumatised.
So, yeah, this vlog didn't start out as being just a chatty vlog, but that's what you've got. And so tomorrow's video will be more of a in the life vlog, so to speak. Yeah, and decluttering.
Yeah, and then we've. I was going to say then we've got the garage coming up, but I'm not here.
We've still got time to make a start today.
Can't. I've started drinking it.
No, you've not yet.
That's the rules.
It's not open. Don't you dare take that away from you. So yeah, we may get onto the garage now.
Yeah, that's right.
He's always got an excuse. You've got to at least go to the tip. So we will end this vlog here. So if you've made it through our waffle, again, a massive thank you from us for watching and sticking with us. Come back tomorrow for a bonus vlog of us decluttering the kids' rooms, as I know quite a lot of people enjoyed seeing that last week. So you'll get a whole vlog just based on that. I think the dogs are sick of listening to the sound of us as well. So we will thank you very much again for watching. If you aren't following us on Instagram or Facebook, I'll put those in down below the handles. Go and give us a follow over there. If you aren't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you tomorrow for our bonus vlog. Bye for now.
Bye.